All right, so here we are, Talk CDL. Ruth Ann, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I wasn't going to rant today about autonomous trucks, and I was literally almost over it. And then this stupid ad on Yahoo. AI is coming for truck drivers. A new bill is trying to brace U.S. truckers for the impact. Look, let me say this. We won't spend much time on this, but let me say this. I hate autonomous trucks. I hate driverless trucks. It's like when we were at the supermarket today and we were at Publix, and I said to the guy, "Hey, look, no self-checkouts. That's awesome." And he said, "We don't do that here."
Yeah.
And you said, "That's right. I hate to see jobs going away." What other result? What other result do they believe they're trying to achieve except greed when they bring in driverless trucks? When you put millions of people out of work, because it's not just truckers. You got people that work at truck stops won't be needed.
Right.
Okay. You got people that work at different places that aren't going to be needed, that service truckers. It's just, it's going to affect so many people. And somebody said the other day, yeah, wait till it kills a bunch of people. And most likely autonomous trucks are gonna. A Tesla the other day, killed a 80-some-year-old guy. His truck or his Tesla car, fully autonomous. It was on autopilot. Damn thing went off the road, hit a power box or some crap, and ended up in a pond, drowned the guy. So I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And not that I want anybody to get hurt or killed, but do you remember when that Uber, was it Uber where that killed that guy in Vegas when they had their, their Uber rides or whatever? It was a fully autonomous car, and it was like a lady that was in the car as the driver, but she wasn't driving. Obviously, it was on autopilot. She wasn't paying attention, and the car ran over a bicycle guy, but they stopped using it for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to say I want a major accident to happen, but it would help the cause if these autonomous vehicles had some really major wrecks.
It's like the wake up call that needs to happen. People will keep thinking it's one thing until something serious wakes them up, and they're like, "Oh wow, I can't believe I didn't see that," type of attitude. But do you remember when? I know this isn't trucking, but when the machines came in and took over building the cars there in, is it not Milwaukee, Detroit? You know how all the car dealers,
the assembly lines,
they all shut down because there were people, the robots, they all took over installing windshields and putting on doors and stuff where, other humans, men, women, that's what they did to supply for their family. Those places shut down. There's, the city, I heard it was like, I've never been there, so I really don't know, but I heard it's like just that whole area is like desolate, and it's just a bad area because there's no industry there now in that area.
Well, and the reason I just started talking about this is because I am disgusted with the AI crap, and not the AI as much
automated,
the autonomous, the fully driverless trucks that they're trying to bring in. It's actually right in front of us. And what makes me sick is this bill here. If you read it on Yahoo, it's like it was voted in 62-2, 62-2. That means all your lawmakers, everybody. This is what makes me sick about greed. Your senators, they're supposed to be the voice of the people, right? Now, what group of people, I'll give you an example. When West Virginia, when the coal was taken out, right? What group in West Virginia of people said, we want to lose our industry?
Right.
But you, senator, you're supposed to be the voice. Mm-hmm. These senators... And anybody that goes to Washington and goes, the people of Florida vote for driverless trucks. They're liars. These are people we vote in. Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be a vote system.
Right.
And so here we are to the point where, okay, the people you vote in, everybody gets all pumped up on vote day, and then these people are stabbing the American people in the back. If you just look, what human being literally is going to say, yes, please take our jobs away? Nobody. So this should never even be. I don't care if you're saving manufacturers money, but you're cutting out the worker.
Yeah, you're getting your pocket greased and on the sweat of someone else. That's not going to happen. And you're like, it came out backwards.
You know who I feel bad for?
The families.
You know who I feel bad for?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel bad for the trucker that's been trucking for 30 years because he's almost retired. Mm-hmm. But the young guys that have the dream of driving a truck that just got their CDL now or got it like within the last, say, 5 years, those guys are going to, this is going to be, you're going to start seeing a big effect in about 5 years or less. That's where you're going to start seeing it affecting more and more. The more success these clowns have, the worse it's going to get for the American worker. I'm going to leave that alone because I could really start cursing right now. I'm not kidding you. It really has me ripped. Let's take a quick break. Move on. Break.
Moving on.
Break time. Well, since we're live, let's just mention a couple sponsors. Bubba.ai, Ruth Ann, great. And there I am talking about AI. But no, they are a great. You know what Bubba.ai is really amazing for? The one truck Chuck guy, the guy with 5 trucks, the guy with 20 trucks that can't afford a full-time dispatcher, you know what I mean, to hire a bunch of office personnel. Mm-hmm. Bubba can literally take care of your fleet, get you loads from point A to B to C to D, keep your drivers fully loaded all week without you having to get involved, and you set the rates. Bubba will find the rates you're looking for. Bubba will look at finding the loads you're looking for. Check out Bubba.ai. It's free for the first 90 days. If you don't like it on day 91, tell them to go to heck. I'm trying not to curse. Anyways, another sponsor, Truck Parking Club. Awesome people. Really trying to help solve a problem. If you think that truck parking is not a problem, it is.
It is.
And I know some truckers are like, oh, I don't want to pay for trucking. Okay, well, you don't have to pay for parking if you don't want to, bro. But there's going to come a time where you need it. You're in Nashville, you're in New Jersey, you're in a city, and you're laid over, and you can't find a place. If you're registered with Truck Parking Club, boom. For $10-20, okay, they find you a secured lot. You're sleeping, you're resting in a good area. And that's really what a lot of people are using it for. Some people use it because they live in big cities and they don't have a place to fully park.
Right.
Exactly. And so Truck Parking Club is actually now providing that. They have thousands and thousands of lots and acreages for truckers to be able to park on. Check them out, truckparkingclub.com. Moving on. We're back. So I asked you to look something up earlier, and you did, right? So, guys, let's tell everybody what I told you to look up. Just say the words.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops. Okay. So, like, one of the things it's all you see. When somebody messes up in trucking right now on social media, what you hear? Yep. He's either a steering wheel holder or one guy wrote the other day, we put an accident up on Talk CDL like we normally do. And some guy said, what brand of flip-flops do you think he was wearing?
Well, it's the season.
So
it's getting the summer.
Let's finally settle the debate. You know, you hear truckers all the time going, it's illegal to drive with open-toed shoes on. And you got other guys saying, no, it's not. You got other guys saying, what do you care what I'm wearing in my truck when I'm going down the road? You got other guys saying you should respect the industry. You shouldn't walk into a shipper in embarrassing clothes. You should walk into a shipper representing your company in a proper manner. This is the fight and the argument I see all the time online. So you looked it up on the FMCSA. Do you have it with you, Ruth Ann?
I do. I have it. It states that the FMCSA does not have specific regulations dictating what type of footwear commercial motor vehicle drivers must wear. However, the agency requires that whatever a driver wears must not hinder their ability to safely operate the commercial vehicle or control the pedals. Now, there's a few things that go with this. First is safety footwear, where your foot can't slip or get entangled with the pedals. Like, okay, so years ago, I used to wear very high shoes, stiletto heels. I preferred not wearing them while driving because it would hinder the way my foot fit on the pedal, and I wouldn't want to make a mistake. Same thing. If you're wearing flip-flops, if you're driving a vehicle that is manual, you're shifting.
Yeah, they don't even know what clutching
They're
is
clutching.
anymore. Yeah, don't mention clutch; you'll confuse people.
So the point is you need to make sure that it doesn't hinder that. Now, aside from that, it does state footwear to avoid is flip-flops, sandals, and unstrapped footwear are strongly discouraged as they can easily tangle or slip off, potentially causing control issues. Company policies can override what FMCSA states. If a company policy says you're not allowed to wear them, you're not allowed to wear them. But there's one other thing that drivers aren't thinking of, and that's OSHA. OSHA requires you to wear certain shoes the minute you get out of your truck and go in the back in your trailer to unload a trailer, to load a trailer, or if you're stepping foot on someone's dock and in their company, their policy, but also OSHA. Let's put it this way. If you get hurt on someone's landing dock or their warehouse and you have the wrong footwear on, OSHA's going to get you for not being properly wearing the proper footwear to be on in their warehouse.
I actually didn't even think of OSHA. And that makes sense because, so what you're saying is the rule is there is no rule on what you have to drive in, but let's start there for a second. So I heard you say that you are not allowed to wear something that will hinder your driving. So I recall an accident in Memphis a few years back, and the guy was wearing either sandals or flip-flops, and something had broke, and he got caught. I guess it got caught underneath his pedal or something, which when he was trying to pull his foot up, he looked down or whatever and ended up getting into an accident because of the footwear.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right. You remember that?
No, I could see it.
I don't remember what the result was. I don't even know if I ever even heard what the end result was of that, but I remember that being an article. Mm-hmm. Okay. So potentially, and here's what I'd like to say. You ever walking in rain and you go through a puddle and you're wearing flip-flops or sandals, do your feet get all of a sudden slippery in that shoe? Very, right?
I lost my footing and landed on my hiney.
Well, this is what I'm getting at. Like, if I'm out in the rain and I have flip-flops on, like if I just walk outside, okay, to the mailbox or something, right? And it's raining out, by the time I come back in, my foot's sliding around on my foot flip-flop. Okay, so what it sounds like you're saying is, okay, there's no rule, okay, from FMCSA, but if you get into an accident and they find that your footwear
it was a safety issue.
Right, you could be now held liable for that, okay? So guys out there, and a lot of old timers bring up the Green Book. Okay, they bring up the Green Book and they say it wasn't, and it may well have been in the Green Book. I don't even really know the Green Book. It was even before my time, but a lot of old timers bring up the Green Book and they say that hard soled shoes and steel toes and all those other rules are in there. I guess FMCSA again does not have the rule, but okay, if you get into an accident and it causes it, you're in a lot of trouble. Now, let's go to the OSHA thing. That actually is very interesting. I'll tell you why. Because, and you're certain it says in the back of your truck, even if you get out to unload inside your trailer, OSHA.
If your driving duties require you to load, unload, work in a warehouse, or visit customer sites,
you have to wear, because you're right. One of the things that you're 100% right on is these warehouses that truckers go to, OSHA is big time on those guys.
Yeah, the OSHA oversees their safety, just like your safety director. You know, the OSHA is theirs.
Right. So when you walk into a Food Warehouse or a Walmart or whatever, right? And you have flip-flops on. If OSHA walks in and sees you on the now, I would imagine you probably don't, when you walk in the lobby part, you probably don't have to have hard sole shoes there.
Right.
Because I'm sure women wear, whatever women's shoes are. So, but if you, like you said, if you walk out on the dock, you're smiling. Because I said women's shoes.
Whatever women's shoes are.
Whatever, sandals, heels, all that feminine garbage. But anyways, what I'm getting at though is, if you walk out onto a warehouse floor, and I'll bet you thousands of guys probably have done it, millions of guys have done it, but and think, oh yeah, well, I've never seen OSHA there. And me personally, I've been on thousands of docks and I've never seen OSHA. But I'm telling you, there's probably times where OSHA's there and making inspections, and you could get yourself caught up. And now here's the other thing. Would OSHA find the driver, or could it come back to the company?
That I don't know.
See, so now I heard you say one other thing. If the company has, it's almost like a concealed carry rule, right? A lot of guys aren't allowed to carry a gun in their truck because why? Because the company has a rule. Well, I wonder if some of these we should, you know what? Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll get a hold of some trucking companies this week, and we'll ask them: do you have a company policy of hard soles? I'm going to call some major companies this week, and next week on next week's podcast, I'm going to go ahead and see if we can do a little follow up on. Okay, if you drive for this company, you might want to know the rules, right? Actually, maybe they don't want to know the rules. But the bottom line is, if your company says you have to wear, closed shoes, and you get in trouble on a dock because you didn't have them, there's a good chance you can get fired. And you want to know what they'll put on your DAC? Company policy violation, which is not good. So, anyways, I hope we've cleared up the flip-flop rules. Me personally, you want my personal opinion? I don't think you should wear flip-flops driving a truck. I really don't. I think, first off, I would rather see you go barefoot. Seriously, you have more control driving barefoot than you do with flip-flops on. They're held on by a little section between your big toe and your middle finger toe. I call that the middle finger toe, because you can flex that and make it look like you're flipping somebody off with your toe. So it's the big toe and the middle finger toe.
You cannot.
Well, because it's long. It's the longer toe.
But you can't flip it.
But the second toe is the longer toe.
But you can't. No, not always.
Yeah, I know. Some people have weird feet, but for most people, the second toe is the longer toe. So if you push just that toe up, it looks like you're flipping somebody off. Not that I would flip anybody off, but you can give them the middle toe.
I cannot.
You don't have toe control. But my whole point is, though, when you're wearing flip-flops, all you got is those two toes holding your shoe on. That's it. Moving on.
I will say, yes, I think you're correct on that. Unless you've got some toe control.
Yeah, you got a toe control.
And you can grip your sandal or your flip-flop.
That's it. Some truckers are going, I got toe control.
I can grip my shoe with all 5 of my toes.
I got monkey toes. Should we move on?
Moving on.
Here's an interesting article that I found. I gotta pull this over to me real quick. This is just amazing to me. Highway bill would allow trucks up to 91,000 pounds on 6 axles. 6 axles on interstate as part of pilot. Now, I didn't realize it says interstate. I wonder if you have to have permits to go off the interstate, because you got to get off the interstate to deliver somewhere. But anyways. It says a $580 billion transportation bill under consideration by Congress includes an amendment that would allow all states to significantly increase truck weights as part of a pilot program. I guarantee if one does it, they're most likely all going to do it. Now, the reason I don't believe in this, I'll tell you why in a second. It says this is part of that Build America 250 Act, right? It said it passed out of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee on May 22nd and is now under consideration by the full House. So it hasn't been pushed through yet. But here's the reason I say this is bad.
Okay.
How bad does 80,000 pound trucks tear up the roads now?
I think they tear them up like crazy.
Well, we all know they do. Honestly, truly, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not trying to put anybody down because of it. You get somebody get their feelings hurt. You call my truck damaging. But bottom line is this, okay? All right. Especially when they're turning around in parking lots, places, they get torn up by these trucks. Seriously, dude. I called you dude.
I noticed that.
They do. Now, just imagine what another 11,000 pounds per truck is going to do. That's big time. I remember being 10,000 over coming out of Chicago one time, and I just snuck it all the way back to PA. I blew up a tandem wheel. I blew one on the way back. I mean, I was at like 91, 92,000 coming back in a reefer. Yeah, they had me pretty heavy.
I remember you telling me when a driver does turns, if they're when we would be turning, but we wouldn't be going forward and doing a turn more in a wider, when it would be like you see the drivers where they're just getting their trailer and doing the shift where they're turning it that way, but the trailer itself is really kind of in the same spot, that you had told me it always eats the tires up.
Well, it eats the tires up, but it really chews the tire up big time.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that when we were driving, because you told me never do this.
Look, let me tell you what 91,000 pounds will do. It'll allow companies to put more weight and more freight. Okay, so now if you're being paid by the ton, yeah, you could probably make more money. If you're getting paid by the freight inside, you can make more money. But if you're a trucker being paid by the mile, imagine what 91,000 is going to be like with some of these wimpy trucks going up these mountains. Well, I'm serious. Imagine what it's like coming down Donner now at 91,000. Imagine what it's like coming down Sandstone at 91,000. Seriously.
I don't understand why they would want. It's like they're oxymorons, right? Let's go ahead and have the whole public complain about driver attentive and all the damage they're doing, and let's get them do all of this stuff, but we're going to go ahead now and raise the weight on these drivers that are driving. I don't understand how they can. I personally think that hire another driver instead of adding more weight. Hire another driver to carry that load than to
get one of your autonomous trucks to do it.
It will make the battery die faster.
You never know. That's true.
It's gonna. But
anyways, I just thought I'd bring that up. I'm not for that either. I'm really not. It's a lot more. Your trucks will wear out faster. Your trucks will get less fuel mileage. I mean, it literally just to be able to deliver more freight. I'm not really buying into that. I mean, if you guys want to write in, which I know you will, and tell me the advantages versus the pros versus the cons, I could see more cons. And by the way, this is a 10-year pilot. This is going to be a 10-year pilot program. So they're going to try it out, but it's going to be for 10 years, and then they'll evaluate it in 10 years. If they start it in 10 years, they ain't going to stop it. You know that.
You know as well as I do what the autonomous was supposed to start out and only be what was that time frame that they were figuring it was going to take to before they put autonomous without a driver on the road, and they're already doing it now in Texas. That was like a while away.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it. So now you got me going.
All right, relax. Moving on. Okay, check this one out. It's interesting story coming out of, I think it was California, actually. A trucker that was driving a fuel truck was fired, right? They said because he was a whistleblower in retaliation. Now, I read this story. It's interesting. It says a California truck driver filed a wrongful termination lawsuit. At first I was like, oh, here we go. Guy trying to make money, right? But actually I kind of am behind this trucker. Okay. I kind of think he was right. Said he filed a lawsuit against the company and the management technology provider, which would have been Samsara. So he filed a lawsuit against, I think it's called earlier this year, Rodrigo Garcia filed a suit against Figueroa, Tank Lines, and Samsara Inc. Okay, the technology company providing the electronic logging devices, in-cab cameras, artificial intelligence assisted video monitoring, and data analytics system. According to the complaint, Garcia was hired by Figueroa as a fuel truck driver in December of 24. Garcia was terminated in August of 25. So 8 months later, he gets fired. Just 3 days after receiving a written warning alleging that he had used his cell phone while driving and covered the in-cab camera, the company terminated Garcia for the phone violation after he refused to sign the write-up. Okay, so they wanted him to sign a write-up. He wouldn't sign it, so they canned him. Okay, Garcia alleges that the termination was part of retaliation for the protected whistleblower reporting a safety violations. According to the suit, within a few months of beginning his employment, Garcia reported the following equipment issues to supervisors and management: tires invisible damage or slash marks, inadequate tire pressure and air leaks, missing antifreeze and overheating risks, mechanical defects that rendered trucks unsafe for operation, and failure to timely repair trucks placed out of service. So he complained, right?
Which
now I will say though, if they caught him with his cell phone in his hand, dude, it is what it is. But here's what it says. Did you have something?
No, I was just going to say drivers have every right to make sure that the equipment that they're driving is up to standards and passable with a DOT inspection.
Okay, so then it says Garcia said that he reported these issues. He was told that he was exaggerating safety risks and that he was pressured to continue driving unsafe equipment. Garcia also said he was assigned routes and workloads routinely requiring 12 to 14-hour shifts, leaving insufficient time to take legally compliant meal and rest breaks, and that the company had misled him about his pay rate. I didn't see anything about that in here. The lawsuit further alleges that the company violated Garcia's privacy rights and California law through the company's practices of in-cab monitoring of drivers through Samsara systems. So I guess Samsara sets a standard for the company. Okay, so it says in May of 25, Figueroa installed forward and driver-facing cameras in its fleet, but told drivers that the dash cameras were intended primarily for accident investigation and safety purposes, were not to be used for routine monitoring of employee performance, and not normally active, and were subject to strict limits on access, retention, and use. So what do trucking companies say to drivers to get them to come work for them when they say, yeah, we have inward-facing cameras? You know what they tell them? Oh, it's never on.
Yeah.
It only comes on when there's a swerve, a hard brake, or an accident, right? You've heard that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so same thing that he was told, right? But apparently not. Apparently they were monitoring, just like we reported on that guy a few weeks ago, right? Going down the road, was arguing with his wife, got a message, you shouldn't be arguing with your wife. Wait a second, thought this thing ain't supposed to be on, right? They're watching you, trust me. He says the lawsuit also accuses Figueroa of making in-cab footage, driver data, and AI-generated incident reports accessible to multiple individuals within the company through a shared Samsara portal. Information available through the Samsara portal allegedly included drivers' license numbers, home addresses, phone numbers, and video footage of drivers inside company vehicles. So basically, safety guy had access to it. All the dispatchers have access to be able to watch you. The secretary, whoever, right, can probably log in the AS400 or whatever system. I guess it's not the AS400. Whatever I guess it's probably the app-based Samsara. I guess everybody has access to it at this company, maybe other companies too. So any Joe Blow can log in and go, let's check and see what Ruth Ann's doing while she's going down the road. Look at her, she's picking her nose. Look at that.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
So, but anyways, so it says Garcia named Samsara in the wrongful termination suit because Samsara performed the traditional employer function of monitoring and evaluating employee performance and generating the evidentiary basis for discipline, functions that under California law give rise to potential liability as an agent of the employer. So basically, Samsara, it sounds like, was acting as the agent. I don't know if Samsara also was monitoring or if they set the standards, blah, blah, blah. But either way, they're suing Samsara and Figueroa. Figueroa also retaliated against Garcia after he complained, are you ready for this, about sexual harassment in the workplace, according to the lawsuit. Specifically, Garcia raised red flags about racy calendars inside the company trucks. Now, most guys wouldn't complain about this, and even they said, "Oh my God, this is a guy's world. What are you doing to complain?" So they had calendars hanging up in the truck. You know, the like Snap-on tools, naked chicks, whatever, right? Now, I'll be honest with you. If you got a guy he loves the Lord, he's faithful, and you don't want to see naked people, and you got calendar, I would say that was probably stupid on Figueroa's part, putting naked, just, well, you think you're going to win every guy's approval. Not every guy wants to see naked women. Some guys are just faithful to their wife. Some guys just don't want to see that stuff going down the road. So he was like, it says, during his employment, plaintiff observed pornographic calendars depicting nude women displayed inside company trucks that drivers were required to operate. Plaintiff found that these materials were offensive, inappropriate, and unprofessional, and reasonably believed they contributed to a hostile and sexually charged work environment in violation of Figueroa's written harassment policy and California's Fair Employment Housing Act. So I'll stop right there on that right there. I mean, I read enough, right? So he alleged unsafe stuff. You can almost side with this guy because he just finally complained about now the nudity in the truck recently, and they were like, "Oh, you're crazy. This is a man's world. Most truckers don't care." And there's probably guys listening to us right now and going, "And what's the big deal?" Right? But guess what? Bottom line is, not everybody wants to see it. Not everybody really. I don't want to be tempted myself. I'm serious. I'll be honest. So, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think of Garcia? Be honest now, in a nice way.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I said before, every driver has the right, if the equipment's not safe or will not pass a DOT inspection, a driver has every right to make reports of that. The fact that it's going back and forth and now it's starting to sound like it's nitpicking. I mean, honestly, if it was me, I don't want to see pictures of a naked man. I don't want to see pictures of naked anything. I don't think that if you're at work, I mean, on your downtime's your choice what you do.
Yeah,
but I don't think that you should have, as a company, that's as bad as putting condoms in schools. You know, I mean,
tampons in the guy's room.
There's places where you don't need to be, and as a company, you don't need to be putting that out there for your driver. Your driver's there to drive your tractor.
What genius thought, "Hey, I know we can keep the guys, put naked pictures of chicks in the truck. Well, they'll all never leave." Honestly, no. I just think that was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to, I would love to go. I didn't even look Figueroa up, right? But I'd love to look inside their trucks right now, see if there's any calendars left. I'll bet you they're gone. I'll bet you they took them all out.
There's places for it to be not provided by your employer.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of going a little too far. I agree with the guy, honestly and truly, that I shouldn't have to have, porn in my truck. Right. What if you got a guy that has a porn addiction? I'm sure he don't mind, but really, what if he hadn't really been looking at porn? Now all of a sudden you're the one that pulls him back into it. Yeah, that's like trying to give an alcoholic a bartender's job. You really shouldn't. I would agree with the guy, and I'm going to tell you something. A jury, if this goes before a jury might side with him. It is California, which, land of the nutcases. But the bottom line with it is, a jury may find this guy had rights in that respect, and Figueroa and Samsara could end up paying. So, I'd be interested to see, where this goes. I'm a little concerned about Samsara being sued about it, because, I mean, they're just providing a service. Now, if they're writing the rules that you have to go by, that's kind of putting yourself in the libel side. But if not, I would say, I don't know, all Samsara does is provide. That's like suing Smith & Wesson, okay, because some guy shot you. Okay, it was the gun's fault. No, I don't believe in that. Okay, moving on. One last thing, real quick. A quick warning right now to everybody out there. We haven't talked about this in a while. Card skimmers at the fuel pumps. How many times have you had identity theft?
Oh, I stopped getting that card just because of...
Several times. Bank of America, though, would call us and go, are you at 7-Eleven in Tampa spending $700 on furry...
We've gotten that one.
Remember that one? Yeah, exactly. We're like, no.
$700 and some at a 7-Eleven.
No. So anyways, it says here, police in Rock Springs, Wyoming are warning truckers to check their financial statements for fraudulent activity after finding a credit card skimmer at a truck stop on May 27th, which is just yesterday. The Rock Springs Police Department issued an alert after finding a card skimmer device at the diesel pumps at a Maverick truck stop located at 1225 Foothill Boulevard in Rock Springs at exit 101 off of I-80. So if you guys have been to that Maverick truck stop, check your financial statements. And let me just so everybody knows, I've watched police and people that are experts on these things. Every time you tell them, what do I do before I slide my card in any pump? I grab onto the skimmer and I pull it really hard. And because if it pops out, then it's a fake. Because what they do is they take them, they take a skimmer that fits right over, okay, the skimmer that you're using, and you can't tell.
No, they're getting really good with it.
The other thing, look up above the pump. Some will put a camera up there. If you see a little camera lens up above the pump in the ceiling part, go to another pump or leave that fuel station. Somebody's trying to get your credit card numbers,
or even your PIN number.
Right there, or your, like you said, your PIN number, whatever. So bottom line is, check the fuel pump, before you swipe your card or you tap or any of that stuff. Okay, grab onto that skimmer. Okay, where the slot goes in. I grab two hands and I give a good tug every time. Ever since all that stuff happened, I always check them. So, drivers beware. Crooks are out in droves, and it's nothing new, but it's something to be reminded of. That's it, Ruth Ann. Do you have anything? Do you have the word of the day?
I do.
Let's hear it, girl. Let's hear the word of the day, young Ruth Ann.
Sapient.
Sapient?
Sapient.
Sapient?
Sapient.
S-A-P?
Yes.
I-A-N-T?
I-E-N-T, yeah.
Sapient.
Sapient.
Man, that's sapient. Interesting.
Do, 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 do.
Does it have anything to do with like serpents or evil medieval times or any of that stuff?
That actually was a good guess, but no.
No. Okay. What is it? By the way, Word Genius is where you get this word. We haven't given them a plug in a while, but if you guys want to get smarter, like Ruth Ann's been getting smarter for years, it's a free app. Get Word Genius, and they send you new words every day that most of us have never even heard of them. Increase your vocabulary. Ruth Ann, what does sapient mean?
It's formally, it means wise or attempting to appear wise. But also it has as a second being related to human species, Homo sapiens. So the example in a sentence would be extraterrestrials are usually written to be highly sapient beings in science fiction. Humans are considered to be the most sapient creatures on Earth.
Interesting. Wow, that's pretty cool.
New word.
Hey,
Sapient.
we're still trying to make it. We haven't confirmed it yet, but we do plan on being at the Houston Truck Show. So check it out. Jesus is running that, and he tells us that's his biggest truck show there is. And I got some news. I got to get it. I got to get the address. But guys, check out the Florida Truck Show coming up this February. Has moved from Fort Lauderdale. Oh, you seen it, Ruth Ann? I did send it to you. Do you remember? Is it down towards Miami now, or is it more like in?
No, I'm pretty sure it was closer to Miami.
Is it Coral Gables maybe, or I'm not sure, but it's definitely further south. But I think it's a bigger place, right? That's why he moved it, because I think they needed more space on the inside.
Well, I mean, also parking and everything. I mean,
Well, they had good parking there.
for the tractors and stuff, but
No, for people, they had that giant.
it
parking.
had a great facility, but sometimes it was difficult when they had other functions. I think that's what this last one was. This last one was pretty hectic because they had
It was tough to get in and out of there, no doubt. But I really enjoyed it because like we were right there on the water, blah blah blah. So we'll have to find out the address and we'll try to provide that for you guys here over the next so many weeks. We'll start advertising for the Florida Truck Show. Ruth Ann, we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.